Have you ever wondered why the second you put a trade into Robinhood or Cash App or Webull or Publix or Coinbase, it just buffers for a second and then things instantly change? Things will instantly change. And you're like, shit, I got on at the wrong time. That absolutely sucks. And your money just dissipates almost immediately. Well, that is intentional. Guys, when you trade with these platforms, you are the product. They are selling your data. And I will explain exactly what they do. Here's what they do. Make sure you watch till the end because it gets very fascinating. I will not only show you guys what they do and make sure that you guys don't fall for this scam like the majority of the other retail investors in the world, but furthermore, I'm going to show you how to really make money in the stock market. And don't worry, I don't sell any courses. I think that if you sell a course, it's bullshit because there's only one way to make money, and it's not the easy way, but it's the only tried and true way. That's the only thing you can do in order to make money in the stock market. If anyone else online says they're a guru or knows what they're doing or has insider secrets, they probably don't. A, because if they really had insider secrets like I had now 8, 9 years ago, then they're not selling a course on it. They're using it to make millions of dollars, right? They're not going to sell it to you for 1995. It's not going to happen. But here is why I really suggest that you immediately delete these apps like Robinhood and Coinbase because they are selling your data. The second you make a trade, it creates volume, right? When you create volume, it now goes all together, right, into a big bundle, and they will sell these to big brokers and hedge funds like Citadel. That's what they're doing. They're selling your data, and then Citadel simultaneously through AI will make a counter trade. So they're going against you. It's like the deck is stacked totally against you whenever you trade on these platforms. And as a retail investor, you're going to get fleeced every single time because these order flows that are collected together and then sent, and they're not sent for free, by the way. That is why these products online that you use and these apps are free to use, is because you are the product. Just like Facebook, they sell ads to their users, right? When it comes to Coinbase, Cash App, and all these other ones, these are just the major ones, but they're all doing it. They are selling PFOF. It is order flows, right? Going by volume. And they sell them on basically the black market to these big institutions that are willing to pay. And before your button even finishes processing and that transaction is completed, they have countered your order with their order. And their order goes in first, and then yours takes the hit. That's why they are stealing from you. So what can you do about this? Because this is absolutely happening. I know it's happening. I know people that work inside that know it's happening. And I know senators that have attempted to stop this, but it makes so much money, guys. It makes so much money. Back in the day, what they would do before these apps, where retail investors could just get fleeced day and night, is they would pay people off like Jim Cramer. And they would say, push this stock down the public's throat. Because people would listen to him, although he's a retard and he knows absolutely nothing. That, or he's just the greatest con man in the history of television. Either way, don't listen to those people. But now it's on a whole nother level because they are just manipulating these apps. I mean, it gets so deep. I could tell you guys how deep this gets. When you look at the graphs for these apps, they are manipulated. They are meant to look like a shiny new toy, much like a casino, like a slot machine in a casino. And it's made that way intentionally. Every aspect of that app is designed to steal money from you. But when you put in a trade, that data goes immediately, like at the speed of light, to one of these big institutional hedge funds that then make a counter trade. And that is why they never lose. It's rigged from the beginning. It's absolutely rigged. And they're shimming off, let's call it 25-30% off of every single retail investor. And I have to say, it's your guys' fault because as a retail investor, I've been trading for 11 years now, and you can't win, for the record. You cannot win without insider data. You can't win without having knowledge that other people don't have. The only way you can win is if you follow these people, if you make the same trades as they make, because they not only play within the game, they are the game makers. If you have that much money put together, you can make anything happen. The only time they lost, funny enough, was during this whole Robinhood and AMC and GameStop fiasco a while back throughout COVID. And the reason they lost is because they nakedly shorted the shares. And so they didn't have shares that they could buy from you. So if I have the only shares in the entire world and they have to buy them from me, I can set the price. But we all know what happened. What happened was they just rigged the game. They said you can no longer buy something, you can only sell it. And so immediately people panicked because it's your guys' fault. The retail investor, it is your fault. And I hate to tell you this, but it's just the sad truth. You guys are not playing the game correctly. And there is no such way of playing it correctly. And that way, I mean, that was really a very good move on the retail investors side for spotting that these shorts were shorted nakedly, which means that there aren't any to buy. They shouldn't have shorted them to begin with because there weren't any. So when things like that happen, then kudos to you. But if you really, really want to be successful as a trader, you either have to practically work on Wall Street, you have to be in the government, in the know-how, you need to know what's going on, or you need to slowly grow your portfolio based on performance of a stock that you actually believe in. But people don't do that. People just go off the feeling of they think a stock is going to go up, and that will never work. It never works. It never works because they aren't playing the same game as you. You're basically just playing a slot machine. You think it might go up. When it goes down, you're like, I can't believe it went down. It has to go back up. But it doesn't have to go back up because they can manipulate a stock to do whatever they damn well please. That's what you have to realize. If you want to win in the stock market, it is a slow and steady race over the course of 10, 20, 30, 50, 60 years. That's how you become rich in the stock market, through compound interest, right? And dividends. Not by, I think that this is going to be hot and I think it's going to go up 100% in the next 3 weeks. That doesn't work. And even if you get lucky with doing something like that, then surprise, surprise, you're going to end up losing your shirt. Just like when you get a 21 at the blackjack table and then you can't quit because you're invested. You feel like luck is on your side. They don't play with luck. They make their own rules. They have so much money, like I said, they can actually manipulate the stocks. And furthermore, Robinhood, and I know for a fact that Cash App, because it came out, not to you guys, but I seen something behind the scenes that you guys didn't see when it was brought to Congress. And behind closed doors, of course, because a lot of these people in Congress are bought off. So what they're doing is they are immediately like a 3-card Monty where you try to find what's underneath the shell and they let you win the first couple times. Initially, when you first start trading, they will only show you things that will win. Once you get hooked, then they just compile bullshit on there that they can manipulate, and thus it steals your money from you because you don't actually know what the true value of that stock is worth. You don't know what the next quarterly earnings are going to be. You're not going off of anything except for intuition, and intuition fails 100% of the time when you're talking about the stock market. If you want to become rich, then you have to do it over the long run. But you guys aren't doing that. You guys just want things to go up quick. You want to get in and get out. You want to make an extra 100, an extra 1,000, an extra $5,000 in order to pay for your rent or whatever. You're not putting the money in and keeping it in. And for the record, when you put your money in and you win, these apps like Cash App will kick you off their platform. They have kicked me off their platform 3 times for knowing things. And I knew quite a bit, especially throughout COVID. I knew before anyone else because I so happened to be friends with a senator, and he told me what was going to happen with Moderna, with Pfizer, with Johnson & Johnson. And so I got in early. I bet the house and I won, and it was great, you know. But unless you know these sort of things, they will kick you off. They have kicked me off because I was making too much money. And it's not a flex, it's because I knew things that other people didn't know, right? I went strictly based on the data. They just one day deactivated my account. So that's strange. They were like, suspicious activity. I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Doesn't look like any suspicious activity. Let me create another one. Kick me off again. Huh. Let me create another one using a different social security number. Kicked me off again. And by the way, that wasn't the reason why I got kicked off. What the reason was, is because I was making too much money. They don't want you to make money. If you make money, just like if you go to the casino and they say you're an advantaged player, right? You can no longer, you can go play slots, but you can't play these games because you're too good and we're not making money off you. They just kicked me off. They just absolutely kicked me off. I have proof of that. I have evidence of it, but they do that to everyone. Like that's not something new. That's not like I'm showing you evidence of Bigfoot here. It comes down to the fact that they don't want you to win because they make money based on selling your data. And if your data isn't good or isn't useful and it doesn't fit within what they're trying to package together before they sell this volumized data subset to companies like Citadel, then they will just kick you off and they don't need an explanation. They have absolutely, it doesn't take an explanation. So if they're allowing you to trade, then they're making money on you, hand over fist. I'll just finish with this, guys. I know that it seems very tempting, but if you're doing retail investing and you're just going off of intuition or you're not planning for the long run and actually looking at these companies, don't trade. Just don't do it because you're going to lose. You're absolutely going to lose. And anyone on the line, and I like some of these guys. Some of these guys were, I mean, there was one person in particular that commented on my channel when I first started a couple months ago. And he was like, good job, man, keep it up. I look at his channel and he is selling, he's selling his advice for stocks. And these people are all scam artists. They're all snake salesmen. I'm not selling you that because I know that it's impossible. And for the record, if they actually had that, like I've had in the past, they're not selling it to you for $30 because they're making millions. If you can't lose, then you will bet the house inevitably. But I just have to say that if you're using these particular apps, delete them immediately because they're not benefiting you. Go on to the more sophisticated apps that charge you a monthly premium. And I promise you, you will make so much more money. It will make up for the fact that you have to spend $10 a month in order to use their platform because they are not trading your data. They are just making their money off of you. But that's why these apps like Cash App and like now Venmo, I guarantee you Venmo's about to get into it. We'll see. And they're doing the same thing with Bitcoin for the record. Bitcoin is supply and demand, right? And who just bought up a bunch of Bitcoin? These hedge funds did. And so the second they see the volume increase, they will wait for you to purchase, they'll sell. And then vice versa. That's what they're doing. They're going off of volume and they're getting this data quicker and doing their transactions quicker than it takes your specific transaction on your cell phone or on your computer to process. So in the time it's processing, they've already won. They already have that data before your transaction is ever completed. It's scary, right? Well, let me know what you guys think. This is a giant scam. It should be illegal, but it's not illegal. And I made a shit ton of money off it. So I just felt bad because like back in the day, I was like, fuck, I don't care. I'm making money. It's great. I don't like, I traded 24/7 and made a very comfortable living just off trading, just off trading. I didn't think about the ramifications of stealing something from someone else because whenever you get a dollar in the stock market, it came from someone else and it was probably one of you guys. So I felt bad about it. Now that I'm not really in it anymore and I have a very safe portfolio, I just gave it up because it took over my life. It was overwhelming and I wouldn't even go anywhere unless I had an internet connection. So I just lived my life. I would wake up for pre-market. It was a mess because I get obsessed. But if you're not one of those people and you're just someone that thinks that they should walk into the casino and bet it all on red, then don't do stocks because you're going to lose your shirt and this game isn't just put against you, making you have a massive disadvantage, but you are the product that they make money off of. That's why they're all getting together and promoting themselves online. It's like buy Bitcoin on this. I've seen the Nelk Boys do this. I've seen other people do this, even Joe Rogan with the Cash App. It's ridiculous. They are making money on you and you will never win. That is the little secret that Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Why do you think, here, I'll leave with this. Why do you think that the richest people in all of America are the people that work on Wall Street? What are they doing? Are they crafting very fine, unique furniture for a living, like a woodworker? No. Are they doing the plumbing for New York City? No. What are they doing? They're manipulating money. That's all they're doing. They're not adding any sort of value to the world. They're just manipulating currencies, right? That's all they're doing. And they're getting filthy rich. And they're getting rich off the backs of the retail investor. That's you. So don't participate in that. You're not going to win. I know that you say, oh, I won. My cousin does that. He does just fine. No, he doesn't. He's lying. I promise you he's lying. He's lying just like that person that's addicted to sports betting that only shows you when they win. But you look at their portfolio behind the scenes and they are in debt. Absolutely in debt. And they're just too stubborn to admit it because they're addicted. That is what Wall Street has become for the average everyday retail investor. It's became a giant casino. It's a slot machine and it's thrilling and it's made to be that way intentionally. It uses psychological tricks in order to make it be perceived within the human mind as nothing more than a casino. And you guys aren't going to make money off it. It's a little insider secret that most people don't know. But now that you know, hopefully this brought you value and you can make smart decisions about your finances, guys, because you work too hard for your money in order to give it away and put it into a giant Ponzi scheme scam. So thank you guys very much. If you have any questions or anything, leave them down below in the comments and make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow.